everyone. I myself, Dr. Shefali Sonone, going to have certain discussion over how to write project objectives. So the points under discussions are listed down here. That is, I would like to go for the having some brief over how to write down, how to formulate problem statement, how to define project objectives, then how it is possible to assess the knowledge which is reflected from the project itself, then representing some project timeline, so over the time how the project is distributed. So of course I would like to again comment that the particular video is limiting its scope to some projects which are taking place in some educational or academic backgrounds. That means I would like to go for some UG PG projects and which are the parts of their academic curriculum, and somewhere how to write down certain synopsis towards the project. So to that particular point the discussion is limited right now. Right now, I'm not considering any project which is undertaking or which is undergone in the industry itself, because the concept of the project which is carried out in the industries, these projects are having certain scope, and depending on the scope, the timeline is defined. But in academic institutions, the timeline is fixed, the time duration is fixed, and with this particular time you need to define the scope of your project, and you need to define the problem statement and of course the objectives of your project. So I would like to say that whatever is the project the students are undertaking, these are with some specific duration and involving some technological stacks of their specific branch itself, of course, to get some kind of the observations or the results, and those results can be considered as if these are the outcomes. So those outcomes I would like to consider whenever we need to have certain assessment of the particular project, and hence for the student itself. Now continuing further, if I say that if the particular project is to be considered, the project expects some kind of the research, and that research, there are different categories of the research. You can find out the reference of the research and the types of the research over the net, but out of which we expect some quantitative research out of the project. So whenever we consider about the quantitative research, it is the process of collecting and analyzing numerical data. So that is very important. The quantitative research can be used to find certain patterns, observations, averages, and make certain predictions out of those, test causal relationships, and generalize results to certain wider populations. So if the type of any quantitative research is considered, the most common is the descriptive one, that defines the magnitude of the concept and its characteristics. But if it is the correlational one, it determines the associations between or among the variables. There is another category which is the causal or comparative, or you can say that it's a quasi-experimental, because without experimentation cannot have certain comparison, that is attempting to establish cause-effect relationships among the variables. How many variables the person or the project partners are going to use. There is another criteria which is the experimental research. Definitely we expect such type of the project for our UG and PG purposes. That is to be conducted with some scientific approach using in general two sets of the variables. Definitely you can increase the number of variables, and then you can have certain comparisons and the relationships among the variables itself. So whenever we are continuing that particular quantitative research further, now the problem is that is the question is that how to write down the problem statement of the project. So what is the problem statement? What is the research problem? So it is just the say sentence or two sentences or more than those sentences, 2-3 sentences are there. These can simplify the issue which is under investigation. So it may be described in some of the sentences, some limited number of sentences. A problem statement is usually a more detailed explanation of the issue, which is framing the context and the relevance of the problem, and stating how someone can plan to solve the given problem. That is the expectation. So how to write the problem statement? That is another criteria what I want to include here. So basically in the problem statement, it is expected that we need to cover certain context, we need to have certain issue which is specifically or the precise one, we need to find out the relevance of the problem statement or the project under consideration, and then we need to define certain objectives. So the problem should be defined, outlined under certain context. So definitely we can ask certain questions that what is actually known to the student that can be given as if it is the context. Now description of the precise issue, that it can be research address, and we need to know that particular issue and we need to reflect this one. Then we need to have certain relevance of the problem, that is why we are actually going for undertaking such problem, why that particular problem is important. We need to highlight such things. Then the last criteria is that, and the last step is that we need to define the objective, that is those objectives of the research, that what exactly is under consideration, what exactly are the aims you need to go for handling purpose. So in that way, if the research problem is to be defined, I would like to go for one example of the research problem. But out of this one, I can say that the research problem may be the journey from the current state what you have and the future state what you expect. That means you need to find out the gaps, and from the current state to the future state you need to demonstrate the issue in your descriptive manner, so that it can become as if it is the problem statement. So a problem statement should be descriptive, or it should describe an undesirable gap between the current state level of the performance and the desired future state level of the performance. A problem statement should include absolute or relative measures of the problem that are able to quantify the gap. That is very important. I should say that whatever is the gap or whatever is the achievement you will have, that achievement should be measurable, and that measure may be the absolute measure or may be the relative measure. And what it should not go for, okay, it is also highlighted that it should not include what are the causes of the situations or what are the solutions what you are providing with your particular project. What exactly you are carrying out under your project should be demonstrated. So this is the task, and in that, with this particular task, if we move further, I can say that I can demonstrate one example for the reference purpose. The example states that, okay, I would like to say that most of the times what happens that whenever student enters into the laboratory, there is one register which is the login register always maintained for declaring some authentication of that particular student, or claiming that okay, some students have entered the laboratory. So with this particular context, I would like to say certain situation, and I'll say that this is the context, that is entry in a laboratory. I have taken the example of the computer laboratory, maintains the user register list as the evidence or the authentication record. So that is the context, that is the current situation what we can have. But we can plan for the future state, that is the relevance what we have to demonstrate. Before this, we have to have certain issue, we need to find out, we need to identify some gap. So what is the gap? That okay, a system must be required, a system is needed to generate an automatic record once the user is entered into the laboratory. So such type of the issue is there. So automatic record generation is not available right now. We can claim that this is the gap. So for a sense, we need to go for finding some statement where the future state can be defined. Let the future requirement is that a biometric fingerprint is not recommended in view of avoiding the touch contacts. Nowadays, because of certain COVID-19 situation, we are trying to avoid the contacts which are required in the biometric fingerprints. But now we can update further to how another biometric may be not having any contact Okay, so we can say that we can demand for some contactless system to be developed. For example, in the experiment, we can say that it is aimed to develop iris recognition system. Maybe that is one of the example. There may be a particular objective we are planning. So definitely not necessary a single objective is there. Coming to the particular project, we may have multiple objectives, and those multiple objectives now we need to write down. So whenever we consider about the project objectives, the project objective should be written so that it can be evaluated at the conclusion of a project to quantify how much it is achieved. The percentage of the achievement should be calculated. There are certain means, there should be certain means rather where the measurement is possible. One of the technique for writing the objective is with the particular site or the internet. Whenever I tried to find out the material, I found that it has written very clearly that whatever is the objective, that objective should be the smart enough. So what do we mean by SMART? So when I say SMART, it is the short form of certain expectations. S stands for the specific, objective should be specific. M stands for the measurable. A stands for the attainable or achievable. R stands for the realistic, and T stands for the time bound. So these are the requirements whenever we do write for the objectives. So whenever the SMART objectives are there, of course those SMART terms are explained here. There is no need to further explanation of those terms because these are very understandable. Definitely with these English level sentences, we can identify the meaning of those. So when I say about the specific, it defines your objective very clearly, in detail, leaving no room for the misinterpretation. So if we ask certain W questions, there is a 5 W questions are there, then definitely we can get the correct answer or the specific answer, and that specific answer we can demonstrate as if it is the objective or the problem statement which is under consideration. Measurable term says that it is the state or rather this states the measures the performance specifications what we want to determine whenever we want to meet with certain objectives. Achievable, attainable, of course, choose objectives that the team has a reasonable expectations of successful completion, because definitely whenever a project is considered, there are certain project partners. Those partners can form a team and the project is evaluated as if it is the team's performance. The project objectives should be realistic. That is, the set of objectives what we are planning should believe that these are achievable. The team should be in a confidence that whatever are the objectives set, these are the realistic and these are achievable. And some time bound, of course, some timeline should be mentioned and that specific period should be there. But whenever I'll give you some example, as I said that we are discussing about some say educational projects, academic projects. So certain time is already given to that particular projects, and hence we can omit those particular part or we can demonstrate that particular part in some other manner. How to that? Okay, we can we'll have a discussion over this one. Whatever are the SMART objectives, I have tried to give you another idea for the objectives and some indicators in what way the objective can be written. So that is some alternative way for expression of the criteria. I'll have one example. Say the objective is that a general objectives I try to demonstrate or try to describe with you people. That is, graduate students shall operate computers. That is the expectation, that is the objective. Maybe the objective of the organization, maybe the objective of the department or some other criteria. So what are the indicators? Okay, we should be very specific. We need to quantify the number of students and the amount of the operation that what we expect. So I can say that majority of the students, say those majority can be given with certain specific quantity. Say 90% of the students from final year class, there is given me some timing where I expect, because I can say that for any degree or any course, the final year is the important year where you can measure the overall performance of the students throughout the particular course. So I can say that 90% of the students from final year class should practice computers for appropriate usages. Now, the idea of the appropriate usages is again somewhat vague. So I can say that we need to have certain measures to measure the appropriate usages. I need to have the distinguishing factor for the measures and to measure. So it is the verb and the say noun for this one. So I can say that there are certain measures for the appropriate usages. I must expect that, okay, after completion of computer operation, the editing of certain files should be known to the student, browsing of the internet should be known to the students, or some data manipulation or data handling should be known, maybe with the high Excel usage should be known to the user. So if such things are known, then I can have certain criteria. Those criteria are there where those criteria can be evaluated to certain extent, and that evaluation perhaps may give me that whether the particular objectives is achieved or not. So in that sense, I can try to write down the objectives. For example, I can have another objective, or I may have some problem. The same problem I may carry forward further, that is installation of the biometric machines, and that biometric may be in terms of your retina detection, which is the contactless detection of the user authentication or the user presence. So I can say that there is one major objective I may write down, that is by March 2021. I'll expect that I have just broadcasted this video in February 2021. So I have just 2 months gap further. So I have given the timeline for the 2 months that Walchand College of Engineering experts will have installed 10 user verification systems in 5 departments, each with 2 systems to authenticate 3,000 distinct users, costing to a total rupees 2 lakh. Okay, this may be, if we find out that this is the sentence, this is the English sentence, we may have certain room to revise the sentence and to have a good English sentence which can be there. But right now I am just focusing that particular objective with the SMART criteria. What SMART criteria we are having here? With this particular SMART criteria I want to demonstrate. So when I say that by March 2021, when I say about the March 2021, I can say that I have given some time binding for this one. So it is the time bound for the completion of the particular project. Now it is written that WCA experts will have installed 10 user verification systems. So when I say about this one, I can say that it is definitely achievable. So just installation of the 10 verification system, I need to check down while writing the objective whether it is possible to go for the installation of the 10 verification systems in available 2 months. Okay, I can decide and I can write it down in the objective itself. Now, whenever it is said that, okay, in 5 departments, each with 2 systems. So, when I specify the thing, I can say that it is, okay, definitely realistic. Because whenever I go for writing, I have to give the detailing of that particular objective. And that detailing should be the realistic. In my sense, I can say that this particular part is realistic. Then I can say that, okay, to authenticate 3,000 distinct users. When I say about the 3,000 distinct users, I'll have here the measure of maximum 3,000 or around 3,000 users should be checked for the authentication purpose. And when I say about the distinct one, I can say that there should be bifurcation for the identity of the 3,000 users. So that is one of the thing, and that should be measurable. So definitely I can have certain measure for that checks in terms of accuracy, in terms of say precisions, in terms of recalls, in terms of true positives, in terms of true negatives, or in that way. And definitely when I go for the costing of total 2 lakh rupees, so I can say that I have just demonstrated this in a way that it is very specific. So it may be having some cost or it may be having some other parameter, but that parameter should be the specific one. So I think with this particular idea, I have given the concept of the SMART objective. With this particular SMART objective, whenever I want to have certain comments for the objective, I can say that objectives should be defined to the real action and not to some abstract imagination. Okay, so whenever you want to carry out the project, that is supposed to be the experiment, so there should not be any imagination. Actual did should be there. Objectives should be expressed with some measurable action verbs followed by short description of that specific task under consideration. So measurable action verbs, I need to have further comment over this one. And definitely if any assessment is to be there, from the assessment point of view, the objectives should be able to reflect knowledge, skill and attitude. So for every particular student, if the assessment is to be carried out, that assessment normally is in three parameters, that is the knowledge, skill and attitude. Definitely you must have heard about the Bloom's taxonomy, where the Bloom's taxonomy express some measurable verbs or the action verbs are there. I'll give you those action verbs where there are three domains, and those three domains will measure, or rather these are used to measure some knowledge, attitude and skill. So I can say that there is cognitive domain, which is normally used, which is in common, very general, which is the recognition of specific fact, procedural patterns and concepts that serve in development of intellectual abilities and the skills. So basically the knowledge is reflected and is measured under cognitive domain. There is another domain which is called as the affective domain, which is the inclusion of manner of dealing with some emotions, values, appreciations, enthusiasm, motivations and attitudes. So basically enthusiasm, motivation and attitude, these are very important for the UG/PG level projects, and affective domain is able to measure this. There is another domain, as I stated, which is the psychomotor domain, which gives development of skills requiring practice, because some practice is definitely required. Unless and until there is a practice, it is not able to get measured. So that are measured in terms of speed, precision, distance, procedures, techniques in the execution. So not all always are say applicable to your project. Possibly speed may not be applicable or some distance may not be applicable, but these are covered with certain processes and the procedures and the techniques. So in that way we can have three major domains where the objectives can be written down. But most of the times the cognitive level is taken into the consideration because the knowledge is reflected over this one. I can or rather you people can just have the reference of the cognitive level utilities. There is some revised taxonomy which is available over the net, which reflects some 6 levels of the understanding or rather expression, where I can say that the first level for the cognitive level is the remembering level, which can just check that the learner can recall or remember the information. The second level is that where the learner can express the idea or the concepts. The third level is that where the learner can use the information in some new way. Their application is very important for the practice purpose, and that is actually expected in many of the projects. There is further level which is the analyzing level, where the learner can distinguish between different parts of your project and can have the comment over this one. There is another level which is the fifth level, which is the evaluating level, where the learner can justify a stand or the decision. So there is some reflection of the own skill of the learner is there. The last level, which is called as the creating level, where the learner can create new product or some new view for the observation of the project. There are certain action verbs which are described, but rather with those particular action verbs, let me give you some other action verbs which are given in some forms, or there are some alternate forms of those action verbs where I can say that, okay, some remembering level is there or some applying level is there. These many action verbs are allowed, or these many action verbs are to be used, or rather these are helpful for you. So in that way you can have the writing or usage of the action verbs, and those action verbs can be utilized for writing down the objectives of your project. There is another comment while giving you some action verbs. It is mentioned with the literature that there are certain verbs these should not be used. There are total 12 verbs. Rather, these should not be used. And these are of course given under the dirty dozen verbs. So what are those words? I can say that these are the naughty words. Okay. So understand, know, comprehend and learn should not be used, because these are supposed to be the ambiguous words. It is not able to measure the performance under those words, and that's why it is say recommended that you can have certain better choices, and those better chances can be used with the words as if, or their other verbs in a way. You can use describe or list or recall or recognize. These are say recommended choices given to you. In a similar way, there are some other verbs which are given in a way: explore, reflect and think critically about. These should not be used because these are certain mental processes, and these cannot be observed, cannot be seen, cannot be touched, or rather cannot be measured. So instead of this, you can use some analyze, assess or evaluate as if the words for the purposes. There are few other words as I mentioned: appreciate, enjoy, believe, value and experience. Those words should not be there because these are the subjective words, and those subjective words, when I say about those subjective words, these are the emotional responses and these are not the indicators of the learning. So instead of these words, you can go for the words which are used as the list, or you can use some described or the summarize. So there are three parts given. The first part which are related to the ambiguity of the words, the second part which is given for the some mental processes, and the third category which is given for the subjective criteria, and these should not be used. So we should be very aware for such things, and we have to have certain understanding of not usage of those words. So I would like to go for certain examples because whenever I tried to go for finding out the material over the net, I found that there are some descriptions, some theoretical concepts are given. But if I try to give certain examples to you people, definitely we try to improve upon. So we are having certain objectives which are already written down, and we can recommend for you how to write down some improved objective. Mind well, these improved objectives are not the final one. There is a great room, always there is a room to improve upon with this particular objective. There is one further level what I have tried to give you in what way we can write down the objective. So again, continuing the same project, that is having the iris recognition system, and what problem statement we have given. There are 5 objectives written down here. The first objective is that studying of the various user verification system. The second objective is that generation of some database where the say actual data can be stored down. The third one is that implementation of the iris recognition algorithm. Some of the algorithms can be shortlisted and can be implemented. Then identification of some of the features which can be taken into the account and which can be utilized for the having separation of the one person to the other person, that is having some distinct criteria for the authentication of the users. And there is again the testing the performance of the particular machine or particular project can be carried out. So in a way I can go again back to the previous slide, which can say that studying user verification systems. So actually study should not be used. So I can recommend you to write down some improved objective. Of course that is with the action verb, and that is to compare biometric based user verification systems suitable for, be specific, academic institutions, and summarize the report mentioning the user number capacity, hardware involved, and cost requirement. So of course this is with the Bloom's understanding level is there, which is the second level. I can say that what will be the outcome of this one, what is the output of this particular one. When I say output, this is actually should not be used. I can say that outcome, because whenever the objectives are there, some outcome should be there, and those outcomes should be in the measurable form, which we have already learned. So whenever the comparison is there, definitely some comparative chart is there, some comparative reports are there. Then you are going to have certain summarization of the report which are mentioning the specific idea in a form, that is the what is the capacity of the users which can be stored down with those particular machines, what are the hardwares used, whether it is battery operated, whether it is the power operated, and what exactly is the cost. So if these three factors are there, you need to mention these three factors, and if any further factors are there, it is always better to mention all factors to make your particular objective more specific and more smart. The second objective is that generating user database. So I can say that I'll go for again the next level, which is the applying level. And with this applying level, I have used the verb which is from the applying level, that to choose around 3000 student users admitted in specific period by organizing their information, which is the information, which is the identity information, in a structured data using MySQL. So again, this is smart one. Okay, maybe there are certain limitations. There is always a room to improve upon, as I said. Now I'll move for the next one. That is the implementing iris recognition algorithm. This is slightly vague, so we need to be more specific. So this is the implementation. I'll go for again for the applying level, where to implement, which is the specific algorithm. Maybe the algorithm having some say known idea, known technique. As I am from the computer department, I can use such words or such type of the technology. For other departments or for other branches, they can go for their own technology and they can mention their technology. So to implement Hamming distance and artificial intelligence based iris recognition algorithms, I have mentioned what is the concept, what is the methodology in a short way that we are going to implement. And that algorithm by pre-processing iris color image through segmentation, normalization, feature extraction, and matching phases. So that basically will give you the part of your methodology, and that is more specific than the generalized algorithm what we have. The next objective, I can say that identifying features. So obviously for your algorithm, you need to find out some features, and those features play a very important role to have the distinguishing one user from one to other and giving you the better accuracy. And of course the accuracy is very important for your project outcome. So I can say that, I'll say that this is the say fourth level of your Bloom's taxonomy, which is the analyzing level, and usage of the similar action verb from the analyzing level. I can say that the objective can be rewritten in a way to identify prominent features. So prominent is a technical word which is resulting in comparatively better accuracy. So of course, whatever is the comparison you have made earlier in the first objective, where the accuracy might have mentioned, you can go for the improvement in the accuracy with the methodology what you have used earlier. And that accuracy of the classification can be quantified, can be given with certain number. So for which whatever are the features, you need to identify those features. Whichever features are of no use, that you can say that these are the redundant features or not prominent features or not useful features. Definitely those features you can remove upon, so that you can improve upon the performance of the algorithm, so that the complexity of the algorithm and the time requirement of your algorithm. So time requirement of the algorithm and the time requirement of the project, totally these two factors are different, and I think you people are able to understand what exactly I am trying to say. The last objective is for the testing the performance. So I need to be more specific. So I can say that to measure, I have used the evaluation as the level, and the criteria for, or rather the verb, action verb is the measure. To measure training, validation and testing performance. So all those performances I want to use with certain metric. What is the metric? Which is the F1 score. That F1 score may be F score involving your accuracy, maybe precision and recall ratio. Rather, I should say that it is a 60-20-20 is the splitting ratio what I want to use for the training, validation and the testing purpose. So in that way you can have the write-up for your particular objective. So before this I would like to go for one more comment, and that comment is that whatever are the objectives I have written, those objectives are not covering any time bound consideration. Though I have mentioned about the time bound consideration, nowhere I have included the time bound in the objective. And as I said that time bounds are normally given for your projects which are undertaken in the industry. For your educational projects, the time is already decided. That may be 3 months, maybe 6 months, or maybe 1 year. But you have to spread down your particular activities across the timeline. And one of the alternative, one of the tool with you, that you can use some Gantt chart for the representation of the individual activities of your project. So this is that particular Gantt chart is the project management tool assisting in the planning and scheduling of the projects. It is a type of a bar chart representing timeline and limits of your project. It simplifies your complex project. You can just modularize your project into the small modules. It can indicate dependency relationships within the activities, and it will definitely assist you to get a follow-up of your project progress. And one more important thing about the Gantt chart, that it is open source software, okay, which is always recommended, and it can have very good interfacing with the Office Excel, so that you can import and export the data and write like your Excel. You can many more say softwares are there where the interfacing can be observed, or you can have some different idea in what way you can represent your time boundness for your particular say project itself. So accordingly, I can say that, okay, definitely I have prepared that particular video with various web resources which are available over the net right now, starting from the Wikipedia itself to specific articles which I have referred. So I should be thankful to those resources, of course, though I have not mentioned here. And I'm thankful to you people also. And definitely we can have the further discussion of the different domains of your Bloom's taxonomy. We have discussed about the cognitive level in some another video itself. If any discussion you want to have, definitely my mail ID is there and we can discuss over this mail ID. Thank you very much.